And I remember you were sort of the strange guy because you were really big and you were still dressing like you were in Catholic school. You still used to wear shirts and shoes, which nobody did at school at the time. So when you met me through Dino, what did he tell you?
No, he was friends with you through I believe grammar school, and I was friends with Vinny through grammar school, and yeah, we started hanging out back then a little bit, right?
Right, in junior high school we started hanging out, but then really when we got to high school is when we really started spending a lot of time together, which leads me to one of my other questions. Do you remember the incident with the watermelons up at Vinny's ski house when we went up that summer?
Oh yeah.
Now that was pretty stupid, wasn't it?
I would believe that was probably one of the stupider things we did up there, yeah.
So I was in the book. I talk about how Vinny got the watermelons, threw them at the guys, and the guys started chasing us. Do you remember when they were chasing us?
I just remember we were driving in the dark in wooded areas, and it was it was pretty intense.
Yeah, they threw a beer bottle at the side of the car. There were a lot of them. I think if they would have got us, they probably would have killed us.
We would have got an ass kicking that day.
Did you ever think that, when we met years ago, it's funny because a lot of people don't stay friends. Do you ever imagine we'd all still be friends as long as we have?
I always hoped we all would still be friends, yeah.
But what do you think is different about our group? Because we know a lot of guys that we went to school with and they all lost touch with each other. Why are we still all friends?
I guess we made an effort, We made an effort to stay friends.
Yeah, that's for sure. We do. We still hang around a lot. We spent a lot of time driving around when we were in high school. First you had the Bonneville, then you had the Duster. What were some of the other cars you had?
Oh, we had a bunch of old wrecks, remember? Had that big Oldsmobile, had a couple of big Buicks. Always had big cars with 4 doors.
Yeah, I know. We always loved your car because we'd go to a party, and if anybody got lucky, we'd ask for the keys, and it was always an enormous back seat.
Yeah. Those were good things back then.
Hey, so the last thing I want to ask you about, because I talk about my mom in the book a lot, and I talk about how you were probably one of the few people I sort of confided in about what was going on, and you also could see pretty easily what was going on. Do you remember some of the crazy shit that was going on, and could you see it?
Oh, of course. How could you not? I was brought up by 2 pretty normal people. I never seen stuff like that go on before,
Well, stuff like what?
I remember we used to go down over there, and she'd make us do something, and then she'd go, that's it. And then if we do that, that's it. You're like, oh, that's not going to be it. My parents would fight, but not like that, I mean, pretty much it was you did this, you did that, and it was over with. Your mom would, it was rough. People couldn't get diagnosed with stuff back then, I guess, like that,
But you were there. It went on it would go on for a long, long time.
Well, only I knew how to take it, yeah.
I know. All right, man. Thanks a lot. I think we covered everything, and thanks for being part of the audiobook.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
All right. I'll talk to you later, Frank. I'll call you later on in the week.
Bye.
Becoming Baba Booey. The Nancy Chronicles, 1984 to 1988.
Her name was Nancy. I met her at a club in Long Beach, Long Island called Malibu, a new wave dance place, in 1984. I had just started working for the Stern Show at that point, but was still living at home in Uniondale. Vinny and I went out on a Saturday night, and I saw her standing at the bar. She was cute, a brunette with big brown eyes and a big smile. She could have been on the cover of 17 magazine. It was late enough, probably close to 3 a.m, that I had my courage poured in, so I walked up to her, and before I could even say hello, she stopped me with, "Oh, look, it's John Oates." I had a mustache and long black hair, thick as steel wool. He and I were practically twins. I brushed it off and we started talking. Then the nightclub closed and we moved it outside. I was chatting Nancy up by my car when I looked across the hood and saw Vinny making out with her friend. So Nancy and I started making out too. That was all we did. The sun was sneaking up on us, and as it did, she told me she had to work the next day. She was a sales girl in housewares at Gimbel's in the Roosevelt Field Mall, and that Sunday was Mother's Day. I took her number, said I would call her, and chalked it up to a good night. I was pretty drunk. Of course, when I got up at some point on Sunday, I realized I hadn't bought my mom a Mother's Day present yet. Since I was out of it the night before, I decided to go to Gimbel's, try to catch a glimpse of Nancy to see if she was still cute when I was sober, and pick up a gift for my mom. If I did it right, I'd be able to sneak in and out of the store without Nancy knowing I was checking her out. I didn't do it right. As I was riding down the escalator, she happened to be standing at the bottom. There was no way out. The good news was that she was cute even without the beer goggles. We laughed and talked and decided to go out later that week. I forgot to buy my mom a gift. That first date was fantastic. Nancy was laid back, sarcastic, and loved music the way I did. At the end of the night, we hit a local bar that I knew had a great jukebox. I took the first turn picking out songs, and when I sat down, she told me, "I love the jukebox here." Nice, I thought. She continued, "They have an obscure song that I'll play when your round is over." "What is it?" I asked. "Can We Still Be Friends" by Todd Rundgren. "I already picked it," I said. You know how when you're young and first start seeing someone and have some odd things in common, you immediately think you're the only two people in the world? Those are magical moments. So we started dating. We listened to music together all the time. She bought me a Bob Dylan box set. I used my access to impress her as much as possible. We went to see Peter Gabriel at the Garden and stood on the mixing deck. When he played In Your Eyes, she couldn't stop hitting me on the arm with excitement, telling me how much she loved that song. But this was a strange time in my life. I was working on the show, getting some notoriety, and as Chris Rock says, I wanted to check out my options. Basically, I was a dick. Nancy clearly liked me a lot and told me so, but I was the asshole who believed he was doing the right thing by telling her he wasn't ready to commit. We went on like this for months, seeing each other regularly, but never saying we were exclusive. After we had been dating about a year, I moved into the city. I was on the radio. Meeting chicks was easy, and Nancy lived out on Long Island. I was 25, and, well, I have a million reasons why I acted the way I did. I cared about her. Everyone on the show got to know her and loved her. But I had other opportunities, too. There was an opening for a bar or a premiere to go to every night. Nancy and I would see each other one night on the weekend, and then on the other night, I could go out and party with my friends. I didn't know if she knew what I was doing when we weren't together, but I always knew that the one thing that could sink me for sure was Howard. If he ever saw me out with another girl, it would be fodder for the show the next morning. Fortunately, Howard never went out. Well, almost never. We had Mickey Mantle on the show one day, and he invited everyone on our staff to the grand opening of his new restaurant that Friday night. Jackie was there, Fred was there, and I showed up with a girl who wasn't Nancy. I felt pretty confident that Howard wouldn't be there. David Letterman was having a party that night too, and Howard and his wife were going to that. No way would he hit two parties in one night. Fred and Jackie and I were sitting in a booth. My date was next to me, and our backs were to the door. We were all having a good time when Jackie called out, "Hey, there's Howard." I swear to God, I almost pushed the girl's head under the table. Howard stopped by for 2 minutes to talk. I didn't even introduce my date. I was hoping he wouldn't notice we were together. When he left, I thought maybe I had dodged a bullet. Then came Monday morning. We got on the air, and Howard's first question for me